Hey guys, and welcome back to StimWalt Studios. Today we're going to be looking at Gloria Victis. It's a game in alpha, I think, at this point, and there's a lot of people on Steam that are having issues logging in, and I had the same issue. Basically, what you have to do is go into your Steam folder. So you're going to go to C program files, Steam, Steam apps, common, and then Gloria Victis. And then go into the GV data folder, and you're going to delete this entire data folder. Now, I've already done this, but after you've downloaded the game from Steam, you're going to want to go into this folder, GV data, and then delete the data folder. So just delete it like so. Now, I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again, but that's the first step that you're going to want to take, is just delete this data folder. Then you're going to go back to the Gloria Victis main folder, right click on gv.exe, go to properties, go to compatibility, and you're going to check run this program as an administrator, hit apply and OK. Again, I've already done this, so then just go ahead and hit OK. Now, what you're going to see is if you right-click on this and you run as administrator, you're going to see the same thing that I'm going to show you here. You're going to get to the login screen. It's going to say connected to lobby. And you may try entering a password here. A lot of people were confused, and this is really the developer's fault, to be completely honest. I'm a developer myself, and so sometimes you don't think about this process. If you just download Steam and you try to launch the game, you're not sure what you're supposed to do. So you may enter a password here and then just hit connect. Okay? If you do that without doing the steps I just showed you, going to the GV folder, deleting the data folder, setting to run as administrator, it's just not going to work. You may end up hitting connect. It's going to say your email is not registered. Okay. You may, they recently removed it. There was an icon down here to go to their website and to set up an email. And so people were really confused because they get email not registered. So then they click on the little icon down here that used to be here, that would go out to the website for the people that were playing this game before it was on Steam. And they would register an email, come back into the game, and use that email address and password, and they would still get email not registered error. This is really totally on the dev team. They made, I think, some mistakes with how they separated the CD keys out for pre-Steam players and Steam players. So that logic's definitely not working correctly. But this is what you do. Just quit the game. And even though you went in here and you made these changes to the executable, you're not actually going to use them. You're not going to right-click and run as administrator. So you have to make these changes, but you don't actually use them. They're basic. Well, you do use them. They're security permissions changes on the files. All right, trying to not be super confusing or technical here, but basically you have to make these security changes on the files, but then you just go ahead and launch Steam, the Steam game, through Steam, the way you normally would, the way it should have worked originally or initially. And you'll notice it just automatically gives you a server list after you've made those changes. If you didn't make those changes, you just downloaded Steam and you tried to log in, you're going to get either an email not registered error, or it will just spin forever and you never get a server list, or you'll get a server list and you'll never log in. So anyway, long story short, make those changes and then log in through Steam. So let's get into the best ping server that I have here. Just some things I've noticed, and it's alpha, so you have to have a good attitude about alpha games and the development teams that work on alpha games. This is not polished yet, so being able to sort based on ping, the column, it's not there yet. Will it be there? Yeah, but it's definitely not a priority for them right now. So it looks like just a quick look of all the different pings that these Aquila, whatever, servers seem to be the lowest ping for me. So here's 34 ms. That's around 35. Let's just drop to 30. So let's do that one. That seems like the fastest server. Now, after you've made the changes that I was talking about, you should be able to log into the server without much issue. Also, if you're interested, definitely join the server and look me up. I've got a level 10 Izmir. I went with Izmir. You can also do, oh god, I think I've forgotten the other. Let's do create new character. Okay, so you can do Midlander or you can do Izmirs. And you can read the lore here of the difference between the two, but I mean, the feeling that I got was I wanted to have a big, stocky, strong guy, and that was sort of the Izmirs more so than the Midlanders. The Midlanders are more like the, I don't know, roguish types. At least that's the sense that I got. Obviously, I'm oversimplifying this a lot. So when you create a new character, you can either do Midlanders or Izmirs. They have not unlocked these other two, which, I mean, it looks like a scorpion icon and an owl icon. My guess is the owl will tie to wisdom, and wisdom is one of the main attributes that is not turned on yet in this game. So if you want to be a wizard, you're probably going to want to go with this owl people. Of course, it's not open yet. What else is not open is you can genders are not open. You can only be a guy, can't be a girl, and you can only be either Midlanders or Izmirs. So we'll see what this turns out to be, and also the differences between, the cultures or whatever the peoples that you pick should have an impact on your skills, maybe even your crafting abilities, maybe just your passive abilities, but we'll see how it develops. Generally speaking, these guys are sort of, I guess you'd call them men at war, or just sort of multi-purpose, versatile sort of characters. These guys are just giant plate-wielding, axe-swinging types. Scorpions, who knows, that might be like roguish type characters, and owl, maybe like wizards or whatever. But we'll see what they end up doing. We'll go to 2. Here you can mess with the height. You can also left click and spin around. Whatever. It's very basic at this point. Increase the body size, have a very tiny head with a giant body. Tiny shoulders, massive legs, or tiny legs. Yeah, so this guy just has an incredibly small body. He's very tall. He has a big head, but everything else is kind of tiny. You can mess with your skin tones. I mean, this is basically a really, really minimalistic character creation here. I definitely think they're going to advance this. We'll go to 3. You can get into the head detail a little bit. You've got, I think it's like 12 different faces right now, but they'll probably, quadruple that. You can do different facial hair. You can change the color of that hair. It's very basic stuff. Finally, you get to your character name. We'll just do like Rothgar. That sounds cool. So yeah, you do your character name. I think character names are unique, so you can't have more than one in the game, but that may not be true once this game is released. They may allow multiple characters with the same name, but or maybe not. We'll see. So you notice that wisdom has been just grayed out. It's because it's not used yet, and I assume the wisdom is going to be sort of the magic user class in this game. So you're just not going to put any points towards wisdom yet, but you can put points towards strength, constitution, and dexterity. What I've been doing, and this may not be right, is a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio between strength, constitution, and dexterity. Mainly because I'm not entirely sure yet what to do. And so I just sort of, I spread them out equally. I've noticed that some people are doing it differently. They're doing a 1-to-1 ratio with strength and constitution and leaving dexterity as is. But I see a benefit to all three. And so since I don't know what I'm doing yet, and I've got 40 points, generally we'll divide that by 3 and kind of give you your what you might want to do. We'll just try 92 each, and then 1, 2, 3, and we'll give an additional 1 to strength. Okay, and that's pretty much it. You can test your no, you can't test your voice. I thought you could. A lot of the stuff is disabled because they haven't had time to add it. Your different equipment choices, low protection. This is just your starter set of equipment. You can change this out as soon as you start playing the game, but let's say you made a character that's high in strength and constitution. You might want to do heavy armor. Or you might want to do medium armor. I think medium armor is sort of the happy medium between all the different armor choices that you can pick. If you wanted to do maybe a dexterity build, you might want to do a lower protection. If you're doing a lot of sprinting and you're using a lot of stamina, you might want to do like a dexterity constitution build and not have a lot of strength, because you're mainly going to have like small weapons like knives and daggers and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do heavy armor just because I don't know. It seems like it might make more sense to start off a character with a lot of strength and constitution, low dex with high armor. So we can create a character now, and I can just sort of show you, how you might go through the game initially. But instead of doing that, we'll go back and let's play this level 10 character instead. It's basically what I just described. He's a heavy armor, constitution, strength build, not really focusing on dexterity. And I've played a little bit, so let's jump right in. Some people have been reporting that this load will get stuck at 90%, and if you make those changes to the files that I showed you at the beginning of the video, it should fix it. Again, if you're not a Steam user, the guide in the beginning may not be very helpful for you, or it may be. I know that if you bought the game before it was released on Steam, that you have to get your CD key through the website. So yeah, that I unfortunately don't know enough about it, but it does seem like you need to make the same changes. All right, so here we are. We just popped in. It does take a little bit of time to load initially. But the first thing I want to show you, after this loads all the textures and everything, is the F1 key. This is really important. It tells you, all the different functions in the game. So escape is main menu, F1 is the help panel, auto run is R, use interaction E, hotbar slots 1 through 0, or I guess 1 through 9, 10. Achievements are H. Show hide is F6. I'm not going to read all this out for you, but basically that was weird. What you're going to want to do is hit F1 as soon as you log into the game. Hit F1, because if you don't have your bearings, you're going to be like, what the hell is going on here? Here's a handful of useful information. Attacks are not targeted, so if you don't aim at something, you're going to miss it or hit something else. Left mouse button is really important to use. This is definitely a keyboard mouse game, so if you want to try to use a controller, good luck. Maybe eventually they'll add support for it. Looting bodies, you're going to want to use E. So E is how you interact with a lot of things in the game. There are outposts in the game, and I'll show you that. So you can restart the tutorial. That's probably what you're going to want to do when you first log in, is hit F1 and restart the tutorial. Or the tutorial may have auto-started for you when you create a new character, and that's fine. You can always go back to F1 later. So this is your starting city, and the way that I'm moving around is okay, so my mouse is in a free look, but if I hold down the right mouse button, then I can move myself. I can move my camera with the right mouse button pressed down, and then my A, S, D, W keys are for movement. So this is a lot like Skyrim, sort of the way Skyrim is played. So if I hold down my right mouse and then I use my directional keys on the keyboard, then I can move around a lot like the Skyrim game, or a lot like many games, but this is reminiscent of Skyrim to me. Z, or I'm sorry, let me hit I first. And this is your inventory. This is a very important screen. This is where you allocate your attribute points. As you can see, I've gone mainly strength, constitution. Here are my points available. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit accept. That's how you apply points. Here's my level 10. I'm Izmir. My reputation is still, I haven't figured out reputation yet, but the way the game works is if you kill people in PvP zones and they're not like an enemy, they're an innocent, then your reputation will change. And depending on your reputation, I think it will change the loot system a little bit, where people can loot your body if you're bad, basically. So if any of you have played Ultima Online, it's sort of like that, where if you're a bad guy, then people can take your stuff when you die, which is kind of cool. You know, it's a notoriety system. I haven't got into that much yet. I've been playing it very, very straight and narrow, I guess, very cleanly. I don't really understand the game fully yet to start attacking people. So here's your total damage, modifiers, your health, regeneration, stamina, and your different damage types. I is very important. Inventory, the I key. This is where you apply your weapons and armor. When you start the game, you're going to have that base set, and I went with heavy armor, so I've got my helm, I've got my chest, gauntlets. I do have a sword, which I found by killing mobs or whatever. Monsters, not monsters, by killing brigands, I guess. And so that's a pretty good one-handed sword. Do have a lantern. I'm not really sure what it's for yet. I've got my heavy greaves and my boots. You do have to repair your armor and weapons in this game. You can't just wear stuff indefinitely. It will eventually degrade if you don't repair it. So that's pretty important to note. Here are your different types of gold or currency. So the one on the top I think is the most important. It's just your, well, actually I don't know. As you can see, it says inventory coins tooltip text. And if you've ever done any programming, you can tell that these guys are using the control names and not the actual like plain English names for these icons, which is funny. That's just how, pre-alpha this game is. But I'm imagining that this golden type of currency is the hardest to get. All I've seen is, the darkest brown and then the light brown at this point. Okay, here are your bags. So you can purchase, with iron, you can purchase additional bag slots, and this is basically your carrying capacity. So you see I have a bag here, my starter bag. I bought a slot, but then I also have to buy a bag for that slot. If you don't buy a bag to put in the slot, then you don't have any additional storage. This also works in your stash, which they call depot in this game, but whatever, same idea. Inside my inventory, you will notice some lag in the inventory system. It's just strange why there is so much lag in the inventory system, but just so you know, right-click can give you lots of different functionality. It can show you available recipes for things, and right-click does a lot in this game. You can consume items. If it looks like this, you can learn the recipe. And you see it took like 3 seconds for that to actually learn. If you hit C, then you can open up your crafting, and this is really, I think, the heart of the game is the crafting system. If it's green, it means you can do something. You can create something now. So I'll go to charcoal. See how it says elm log, but if I hit this arrow here, I have many options of different woods that I've collected. So then I can do oak and log if I want, and then I can do 1, 2, or all. Okay, and let's just do, we'll go back to the beginning, we'll just do 1 and do create. Alright, you see that gained me 126 crafting experience and 42 attribute experience, and this went up. I'm currently level 5, approaching 6 on forestry and farming. If I hit this arrow, I can do tailoring, I can do engineering, I can do mining, metallurgy, armor smithing with a U, alright, weapon forging, and jewelry. Of course, jewelry is probably not something I'm going to be focused on for quite some time because you have to like be rich, and I'm not. So yeah, crafting is C. It's a big part of this game. It's why you go collect resources. It's how you improve the stuff you're wearing. If you don't want to just go to a vendor and buy everything for straight gold, you're going to craft it. So it's very important to collect resources when you can, and I'll show you how to do that later. Alright, here's your capacity. Not really sure why it's 0 out of 0, but I guess I'll figure that out later. And so yeah, that's the inventory screen. Something else I'm going to show you is the Z key. If you hit the Z key, it'll jump into your free look mode, or out of the free look mode. And so then you don't have to hold down that right click button like I was showing you earlier. If you hit the Z again, you're in the free look mode, and then you do have to hold down the right mouse button in order to move around. But you can sort of jump back and forth between free look. So then I can, like, you know, click on things on my HUD. But if I hold down the right mouse button, then I can jump back in. So it's nice that you're not like scrambling to hit a key. You can still interact and move around. But if you don't want to do any interaction in free look, or in, I guess you would call it desktop mode, whatever, or interface mode, hit Z, and then that will just go away entirely, and you can just use your mouse to look around. So this is the depot. Hit E to open your depot. This is where you keep your stuff. You can buy additional slots. Do you wish to cost... Oh, do you wish... this will cost you 1 iron. Do you wish to continue? If I hit yes, boom, I just opened up a new slot. And just like in my inventory, I can open up slots, but that's not the same thing as filling it with a bag. You have to place a bag for additional storage. And here it looks like the tooltips are still not... all the controls don't have labels. You can see I have 3, whatever that is, and 72, or whatever that is. Probably copper, some other form of copper, silver, gold. So I'm going to hit I, and you see here, I can drag this over. You can see here that I've got 50 of this, we'll just call it copper for now, and 6 of this, I don't even know what to call that. I can deposit this amount. It doesn't auto-detect it, which they'll add later, I'm sure. It should pre-populate with what you have. And then I can just do confirm. It'll place 6 of that, 50 of that into my depot. Just hit confirm, and there it is. So it's very important that you put stuff in your depot because it cannot be lost. The depots do exist in all different towns. So towns all over the map will have a depot. You walk up to the depot and you hit E. Okay, so all this stuff in here I can access from any depot that's within any player-controlled town. Just to show you, it looks like I've got some recipes here. So if I hit right-click on it, I can learn it. Right-click, right-click, right-click. So then I just learned all of those different recipes. Here I've got resources. I mainly keep resources in here, like wood planks, bark. Here is a recipe. Right-click on it. Right-click on firewood. Got some crushed granite. Anyway, you get the idea. You're going to store your stuff in here. I do have some spare armor and weapons. When you die in this game, at least right now, you don't lose everything. But I think if you're in a PvP zone and you get killed by an enemy, that they can loot some things from your body. I think there's a window of 15 seconds, so they can loot as much as possible within 15 seconds. So the depots are handy. It allows you to sort of store stuff as you travel between cities. So this is a vendor. Again, you're going to hit E. Show me what's in your stock. You can ask them other things, but show me what your wares. Now here, if you hit I and drag this over, go back to your original bag, you can go to all, you can sort by basically the categories of things that you want to purchase, but then you can also sell stuff. So if I wanted to sell my elm logs, which I don't want to do, but we'll sell a dead fox, which by the way is also, so it's worth about 6 copper. If I right click and I do show available recipes, then I can see that, well, a part of forestry and farming is getting a raw fox hide. So do I really want to sell this? You know, that's the great thing about this interface, is that right before I look at it, I can go, well, show me my recipes. Would I rather make wood billets? I've already got a lot of wood billets. I don't need that. Would I rather do a recipe for fox butchering to get a hide? Maybe. So anyway, it's a nice fluid system, but we're just going to sell it. Right click, sell. All right, it's that simple. You can also sell recipes that you already have. That's pretty useful, or you can store them for your friends. All right, so that's a vendor interface. As you can see, it just started raining. Other players are going to look like this. They're going to have their name on top and healthy below, or maybe not so healthy. You can hit E and send them a message. You can mute them entirely, send a party invite, request to be added to their group, send a guild invite, a friend invite, or send a trade request. So a lot of things are controlled by either the E key or the right mouse button. So this is the main city. You guys can travel around, look at all the different vendors. I'm sure that'll be very useful for new players. But I'm just going to run outside of this main city and start getting into a fight, because that's why a lot of you are playing this game, I'm sure. Oh, looks like I didn't actually learn that. I just put it in my inventory. You already know this recipe when I right-click on it, so do I know this one? Learn. Yep. Do I know this one? Learn. I do. So I could sell all these recipes, and I probably will later. When you put things on your hotbar, it doesn't mean that they're removed from your inventory. It just means they're removed from your hotbar, so you can pick them up, drop them, put them back on, drop them. It doesn't remove anything from your inventory, so don't freak out. So we will load, by hitting 3, our bow and arrow. And we're going to hit E to open the door. There's a player. And before we get into the world and start killing stuff, I'm going to go over some of the graphics. So I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to go to options. And just in case like this is a little bit too slow for you guys, I'm going to show you how you can improve the performance a little bit. Now for me, I have two video cards in SLI, so I'm pretty good on this in terms of performance. But even mine, you see, will drop to about 40 frames in town. I think that's pretty universal. Doesn't matter what cards you have. In town, especially with weather, it's going to drop pretty significantly. But you can cap your frames if you want to get better performance. Cap at 30, 45, 60, 75. I choose max. You can do different resolutions. And this is just your display options. Then if you go into the gears, here's where you can really mess with stuff. So I'm doing high for sun shafts. I'm doing maximum for azeotropic, ultra for shadow, medium for depth of view, ultra for model detail, character display distance, max, 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 max. The only thing I don't have is reflections. For whatever reason, reflections makes the game really choppy. So if you were to max out your game, max everything out but uncheck reflections. It's currently very broken. This right now doesn't have anything, game options. Keybinds is really important if you want to change like the defaults of how you interact. And sound is pretty cool. I really like the music in this game, so I do recommend you guys keep that on. And then if you want to increase the sound effects volume a little bit more, you can do that. Just hit apply, and just keep in mind that whenever you're in this area, whenever you go to this options screen and you hit apply, it like resets everything, not just what you changed, which from a programming standpoint, they definitely need to change that. Okay, enough talking. Let's go kill some stuff. So if you're low level, you're going to probably come out here. You're going to see like, oh no, there's a skull, and what do I do? Pull out your bow and arrow first. It's important to get good with the bow and arrow. You see, here's a young Mid-Atlantic partisan. Let's try killing him. Oh, there's two of them. Okay, so let's run away. I'm going to hit shift to run. We're going to go back to the guards, which are going to help us out. And if you keep running, they can take aggro. Wait for it. There we go. So now if I hold right mouse button, left mouse button, release. There we go. And 48 gold. Alright, I'll take that. And this guy didn't give me anything. And the way I did that was I just hit E over the corpse, and then it brought up that display. Sometimes you won't get a display. It's just sort of random. It looks like. So here I can farm for some wood. I'm wielding the wrong weapon. They're right. So if I hit 1, get out my sword, walk up to it, and hit E. You see how it estimated that it would take 10 seconds for me to chop based on my armor? If you wear lighter armor, you can gather resources much more quickly, so that's important to remember. If you're basically going to spend like an hour or two gathering resources, switch to lighter armor. It'll change the ash wood chopping 10 seconds to maybe 4 seconds. So, pro tip there, if you don't want to be dumb like me and gather resources in heavy armor. Okay, so that's how I gathered some wood, and as you saw in the crafting system earlier, that can, slay the rebel peasants by the western farm. Maybe we'll go try that. Here's a beehive, I'll hit E, get closer, hit E, and I gather some beeswax. Beeswax is used for crafting. Almost every resource in this game is used for crafting. Alright, so I still have my sword out. I'm going to hit 2, and what that will do is bring up my it'll bring up my my sword and shield, which gives me much better blocking ability. Here's a chicken. If you get close enough, you can get it. You see that little white cursor? Sort of a guide on how you attack things. Congratulations, you have accomplished a challenge. Click the reward. So we'll grab the dead chicken. I'll hit Z. Click on this. Let's see what my hunted animals reward is. Looks like it put something in my inventory, so I'll hit I. And here we go. Reward for achievement level. Experience plus 3%, 4% resources, harvesting. So if I right-click this and I do learn, I have a daily reward activity card. So if I right-click on it and I consume it, in my upper left-hand corner, I now have 30 minutes with plus 15% looting and harvesting chance. Over here, I have my reward for the controlled locations. We'll talk about that in a second. But you see I have a lot of bonuses towards other things. Up in your left-hand corner are where basically your buffs are stored. I'm sure they'll enhance that later. So if I hit M, here's my map. Here's me. You see this little arrow right here? And here is the stone, what's it called? Stone Home Main City or whatever. Each of these points are controlled by the Izmirs. I'm on the Izmir faction. And so each of these yellow flags are controlled by my nation. The blue flags are controlled by the Midlanders. And basically, these are constantly in flux. So if we wanted to, we could try sieging the Onard's farm. And by doing so, if we successfully siege it and take it over, these percentages would increase. Conversely, if we lose these points of contention, this actually goes down. So this sort of gives people an incentive, especially PvEers, people that don't want to PvP all the time, to actually engage in player versus player, because it will then guess what? Benefit their PvEing, their harvesting, their crafting. So a very smart system by the developers to make PvE almost essential to player versus environment type of abilities. So if I'm the type of person who just wants to sit at home all day, not sit at home, but just, you know, sort of craft non-stop, it doesn't make sense for me to waste my time doing that unless I'm helping take these capture points, which then give me a giant boost to my harvesting, crafting, and resources gathered and experience. So it ties in very nicely, very smart. You can also search here. I'm not really sure what this is yet, so if I just typed castle, yeah, so I don't really know. Like, as you can see, when I typed castle, it brought up my crafting. So there's some programming that needs to be done here. So if you're in the map, it needs to suppress your hotkeys. So maybe that would like help you find a certain location. Anyway, if we click on a location, nothing seems to happen at this point. But I think eventually it would be smart for them to zoom into the location, so you can get sort of a bird's eye view of things. So you can be more strategic than just, oh, I'm going to run here and we'll see what happens. Alright, so let's head over to the peasants at the Western Farm. I am not entirely sure where they are. Oh, I think they might be over here. And we will switch back to our bow and arrow. You can get pretty good with the bow and arrow. You just have to practice. Based on how far away someone is, you need to increase your arc of your shot. And if you target someone, you see that stop sign. That means that they're basically a guard, so you can't kill them. But someone else, like this guy, is a follower level 3. So you can absolutely kill them. The guards do tend to get in the way sometimes, so try not to get them involved in fights. If I walk up and I hit E, you notice that when the guard kills them, you don't usually get loot, so that sucks. Here's a chest. If I walk up and I hit E, it says the container is empty, so someone's already been here. Oh, if you stand near the fire, I'll hit Z real quick. You see how I get a bonus to health regeneration and stamina? So that's a nice feature. Basically, stay near the fire and you can regenerate. This guy's backing away from either me or the guard because we're too high level, but I will fire an arrow at his head and then he will come for me. Now I'm going to hit 1 and then right click or right mouse button to block and then left mouse button to counter. Grab the gold. And this guy is on my side. Alright, so if I stand over here, you'll notice that my health is going up a little bit faster. Oh, or am I standing in the fire? Yeah, so don't stand in the fire. That's a bad idea. Pro tip. Let's move up here. See if we can find some more dudes to kill. Alright, here's the dude. So I like to open with the arrow. And again, depending on how far away you are, right mouse button, left mouse button, hold it down, release. Alright, then hit 1, which is my sword, 2, shield, right mouse button. That was a block, right mouse button, another block, right mouse button, block, Q. That's a kick, totally missed him, right mouse button, block, Q, kicked him, slash him, and slash him. I'll hit E, got some gold, hold down shift, run to the next thing. So it's a very fluid combat system. I think it's probably the best thing about it. I think it took a lot from Skyrim in this sort of non-target based combat system and improved upon it with the Unity engine, which is a surprising engine for what it can do. So right mouse button, left mouse button. Nice. And headshot. Charcoal.
Let's avenge our brothers and take it back.
Alright, these guys are guards. Where's the farm? I feel like I'm missing something. Okay. Looks like we got some guys down here. All the guards. Does this look farmish? Maybe. Slave boars coming close to the camp and harvest crops. Well, here's a chicken. Kill the chicken. Nice. And a chicken. So just about anything in this game is craftable. So I think early in the game it makes sense for you to just try to kill everything you can for the experience and the resources. I'm not telling you that you should, you know, commit genocide on the chickens, but you'd be surprised what you can use for resources. This looks like a fox, which they run away and they can be hard to get once they start running. Wow. Quite a mountain climber there. Ah. Much kick on that. What? That was a good hit. What? Stupid fox. Man, I think he's brilliant. I got him! Alright. Dead fox. Cool. Alright, so, yeah. We haven't seen a lot of players. Looks like we do have some quests that we could look at. But I'm more interested in taking you to this place. Twin Fall. Or maybe we'll go to the farm. Yeah, maybe the farm's closer. So we'll go down this way. Let me hit K, or not K, Z, and show you this over here. This is a user interface thing you should be aware of. You can always go here and go to your inventory, your party. So if you were in a party, or if you had friends, you could send invites to them, ask to join a player party, or send an invite. Let's see. You can just click the plus button and search them by their player name. So even if your friends are offline, you can do the same thing, send them requests when they're offline. And if you're in chat over here, global, local, nation, guild, party, if you go to global and you notice, like, first of all, you have to remember what server you're on. They need to fix that. So if you just write, like, test. Did I write test? Huh? There we go. I am on US Canada Aquila 5. Alright. Aquila 5. You want to make sure that your friends are on the same server as you, otherwise they can't join your party. Pretty important. But that's how you would find them and ask them to join your party. And we'll go down to challenges. Challenges are cool. You can have different daily challenges which give you rewards. Hunting, active war, crafting. And here's your timers for your daily challenges. Guild. This is really cool. So I created my first guild just the other day, or was it today, yesterday? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I was playing late last night. You can create a guild. It's free at this point. Add new members. But the coolest part of this is the coat of arms. So I did Clan Stewart, and I tried to create the Stewart sigil or emblem on my shield, and it works surprisingly well. So if you go to edit and you're familiar with Photoshop at all, it has layers. So you can basically use multiple layers, and there's different options in here to change the colors. Actually, I'll do something a little bit more obvious. So if I do this, I'll change this panel down here, and I do red, you see how I can change that part of the icon? Or I can change it back to what it was. And you basically do that, you know, however you want to do it. You can rotate the images, make them bigger, smaller, change the position left and right, horizontal and vertical. It's really cool. You can create your own coat of arms, and then if you guys take over these different areas on the map, your coat of arms, your flag is actually flown if you're there. if your guild takes it or if you're a part of it. So that's pretty cool. I really like that aspect. Is there anything else I want to show you? So crafting, you know, you could just click on that icon or just hit C. Guild, and finally abilities. Now I have not added any points to my abilities yet because I'm not sure what I want to do. I do use the bow and arrow a lot. I do use the sword and shield a lot. But you have the options of strongman, which will damage dealt at full power is increased. So that's when you hold back the weapon and you swing it really hard, and I'll show that to you in a second. Finesse is basically stamina drain. This is important if you don't have a lot of stamina. You might want to get more finesse. This is really cool, stamina drain when blocking an attack. If you do block a lot with your melee weapon, then this is useful. And athlete, I think, is useful for just about anybody. So when you're kicking, sprinting, or swimming, but this is especially important for anybody that's going like a dex build. If you're using a lot of movement in your attacks, then you're going to want to do athlete. Now I haven't done, again, I'm not going to put the points here because I don't really know what I want to do yet, but this is how you assign points. Your passive abilities are different from your attributes. So whenever you level, you're getting both these ability points and your attribute points. If you go over strength, you'll see what it increases, constitution, dex. Wisdom is not used yet. Alright, so let us go to the farm. Is there an easier way to get to the farm? I think if I go this way, I can get to the farm easier. We'll grab some wood, switch to our weapon that can be used for chopping. If you hold down right mouse button, you can look around. If somebody's trying to jump you, you can be aware of it. Alright. If you hit F, you can put away all your weapons and run faster. That's really helpful if you're a heavy armored dude like me. Looks like there's a camp here, but no one's there. Oh, looks like we got some fighting over here. Let me hit M. Alright, so if I just went this direction, if I just went straight, I would hit the farm. Let's see if I can do that. So I'm using my mini-map now in the upper right-hand corner. Looks like I'm going to cross the bridge here, and then the farm should be right over there. It's too bad that it's night right now because you can't really see the game super well, but oh well. Maybe the weather will change. Alright, I'm going to hit M. Alright, looks like it's just... Is it in here? That looks like I'm going back into the town, so I think it might be this direction. I'm going to hit F so it's easier for me to run. You can see my stamina goes down when I hold down shift. Oh, who's that? Young Rebel. Alright, we'll switch to our bow and arrow. He's backing away because I'm too high level for him. But when I attack him, he'll come for me. I'm going to hit the right mouse button. Block. Slash. Hit 2. Block. Slash. E. And it looks like there is a recipe. Pick it up. Probably sell that one. Huh. Let me hit M. Oh, this must be it then, huh? Oh, this is new. I haven't been here. I'll bring out my bow and arrow. Headshot. No. Block. Power. That was a power move. So you just hold down left mouse button and you'll get like a power move. See? If you aim your cursor above the target, you'll get like a almost like a headshot or a power move above their head. It's too bad I can't pick up the axe. Looks like a good axe. Alright, there's more dudes. So I mean, this is basically at the early stages of the game. You're just collecting resources, gaining experience, and killing stuff. And sort of learning the combat system as you go. And it's very fluid, it's very fun. It's definitely worth the money that I paid for it. I mean, it's like very cheap, very, very inexpensive game. Go for the headshot. Nope. Alright. Ooh, nice kick. So I'm gonna kick him back. Boom! Sometimes when you kick them, it'll stagger them, and if... Bowel. Ugh. And it'll stagger them, and it'll give you the opportunity to counterattack them. Let me try pulling two dudes here. One. Two. Switch to my sword. Block. Bring out my shield. Block. Block both attacks. Oh, the kicks really stagger me. Dang. Nice combo, bastards. Alright, I'm just gonna go nuts on him. Alright. Block. Yeah. Bastard. Huh. Power attack. Headshot. Iron knife. Try to get closer. Is that a person, or it looks like a person? Okay, but yeah, I mean, you guys get the idea. Let me see if I can get him to join my group. Looks like we're both killing the same stuff. If I get close to him and I hit E, then I can send party invite. Let's see if he'll join my party. Maybe he doesn't know what that means. Send party invite. You have invited him to join your group. He rejected it. Okay, well I guess he doesn't want to share the loot. That's alright. But if you do form a party, you both share experience and in the loot. So there's some benefit to that. Whoa. Nice hit. Ugh. And you can just kite their attacks like you would in any game, you know, back up from their swings and strafe, that kind of stuff. Oh, it's hitting the shield. Block his first attack, bring out my shield. Kick him. Didn't work. Kick him. Wow. I guess he is a level higher than me. Ooh, a battered crate? Is that what it said? Case. So we will learn some type of rock. Alright, good for crafting. Looks like the sun's finally coming up. I like how... Uh-oh. There's some lag there. When he puts up his shield, the arrows don't work, so you just sort of wait and then release... Ah. Is it that demo? This guy looks tough. He's only level 7, though. Power move? That's right. Power move? Missed. Power move? Missed totally. Power move? Hiya! Hit his shield. Slash. Whoa. Just a bow and arrow. Whoa. Out of stamina. Need to slash him. Oh. 43 gold. So when the sun starts to come up, you see how like things start to flash? Oh wow, look at the sun rays. It looks pretty cool. Very cool. I like it. Yeah, there's definitely some lag here. See how it sort of like loads in chunks. Aha! Oh wow, that looks cool. Not bad for a free engine, right? Oh, suddenly the lights turned on. That was nice. See, I'm just sort of backing up slowly. Whoa! Ah! Kick! Not close enough. Run up and kick. Haha! I run out of stamina pretty quickly here. That's where it's good to have consumables that increase your health regeneration and stamina regeneration before you get in the fight. This guy's just kicking the hell out of me. And kiting does definitely help as well. Alright, I'm gonna hit M. Am I close to anything? I'll try going down there. Lifetown, I think is what it was called. Which direction is it? It's like right over there. Oh, there it is. And I hit a shield, so I'll just switch over to board and sword. Yeah! Ah. Oh, yeah. 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 Haha. Okay. I'm gonna hit F and I'll hit 3 and then F. So I can move faster. Let's see what this area is about. Huh, looks like a mine. Maybe I need like a pickaxe or something. Oh. Salt. Mining. I wonder what item I need for mining. Probably a pickaxe, if I had to guess. And you could craft that with the crafting system. Yeah, so these different resources are... Oh, I was able to get some with my sword. That's weird. So yeah, I guess my review of the game is it's pretty good for the price. I think it was like $15 or something on Steam. Definitely had some issues at launch, but it is alpha, so you have to be aware of any game you purchase that is pre-alpha or alpha stage is going to have problems. I do think people were a little disappointed that you know, with early access, the basic requirement of early access is well, access. So when you don't have access to the game that you paid for, that can piss people off. But hopefully the guide at the beginning of this oh wow, go up there. Hopefully the guide at the beginning of this video helped you with that. If you're still having issues with it, it'll probably be fixed with the server-side update from the GV staff, development staff. I do know that they typically are not online when the US East prime time is happening, so like around between 6 and 10 p.m. at night on Eastern Standard Time, they are all asleep. So they do need to staff up for 24-hour support, but that will take time. Oh, here's a wolf. Oh! Nice. Get a pelt or something? Awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I mean, this is my first video on GV. Gloria Victis. I don't even know the name of this game. It's terrible. So hopefully you guys enjoy it and enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in game. Oh, and like, share, and subscribe.